Just allow it to occupy the center of your attention and just wait.
After working at Eloise Hospital for 14 years, Dr. Erickson was advised to go to a climate which was more beneficial for his allergies. He decided to move to Arizona. He worked briefly in the state hospital and then went into private practice. He began to be recognized worldwide, and his major treatment and training procedures began. He founded the American Society of Clinical Hypnosis, and he was the founding editor of its influential journal.
It's a little brick house near downtown Phoenix with 3 bedrooms, and we raised 6 or 8 kids in there for people flying in from New York and Mexico and all over the world. I remember his wife Betty saying to me once that a guy said to her, I never dressed a doll before, because Christy or Roxy had asked him to dress a doll.
I remember one woman in particular. She was sort of like a symbolic visiting aunt. My father would assign her to take me to Enchanted Park, and I would go fishing. She bought me my first fishing pole. I later learned, of course, that it had tremendous therapeutic importance for her.
One of the things that we did question was when he would assign them particular tasks, which was fairly routine, to go out and walk, a certain number of miles, or around the block 20 times, or weed the rose garden, or something. We all thought it was rather unusual that the patients would always follow through. Why would a grown man go out and weed the rose garden with no pay, just because Dad told him to do it? Why would he do that? When he's obviously on his hands and knees cursing and hating it.
I guess.
One of Erickson's therapy techniques came to be called ordeal therapy.
All right. I have a remedy in mind for you. It will cost you 8 hours sleep. You think you can afford 8 hours worth of sleep? He said, I've been losing that much sleep every night for a year. Of course I can afford it. I said, all right. Tonight when you go home, you take a jar of Johnson, a floor wax, and a rag, and you polish the floor all night long. You polish it too. Usually getting up time in the morning. Then you go about the days where you won't lost 2 hours sleep. And the 4th night, before I began polishing the floor, and told the son, I think I'll rest my eyes for a minute. He woke up at 7 o'clock the next morning. And now on his dresser is a can of Johnson floor wax. I'm polishing right. And I've told him, you got an illuminated dial clock. If you can read the time of the night on my clock 15 minutes after you go to bed, you polish the floor all night long. He hasn't missed a night's sleep since.
More than anything else, my understanding of how to treat pain was influenced by Erickson. I think he knew more about that than other people whom I have read or worked with, and that's what I really learned a lot from him about. I think fundamentally what I learned was that pain is mutable. All pain is mutable, not just some pain and not just some people, but period. And that was impressive to me. And in some ways that sounds very simple, but I think that that's not something most people know.
Erickson liked to emphasize that his difficulties had a positive effect on his work. An example is pain. He suffered severe pain all his life based on his polio. Some of the cramps he had were so severe that the muscles pulled away from the ligaments. He used auto-hypnosis to control that pain when he could. In the process of understanding and working with his own pain, Erickson understood pain better than any other therapist because he had been down that road himself.
She was in a car in Santa Barbara with a young man, and he drove over a 150-foot embankment, and Nicole was thrown out of the car, and her back was broken. She does have a lot of pain at night, and even in her sleep she cries out. She probably doesn't remember in the morning.
It only makes your pain worse.
When I'm depressed.
How often is that?
How often? I don't know. I don't know.
What are you depressed about?
A living situation and being in a wheelchair.
How old are you?
19.
And what would you like to have me do for you?
I'd like you to help me walk again.
If I can't help you walk again, then what?
Help my pain.
And you keep sleeping deeper and deeper until you know what it is you want to forget. There's something else you need to do. To know why you never completed that work of the fancy work of a mouse. You're not using the muscle you have. You got a very smooth face. You have too short a smile, not a wide enough smile. You don't use your muscles around your eyes enough. And you can have a dimple if you wish. Well, that's a dimple is awfully under-exercised.
Yeah, like I never really did anything for myself then. I never did anything that made me happy. I wasn't even around people I liked. You know, and now I have, you know, friends that I really like to be around. You know? And I'm doing things that I like to do, and I'm enjoying them. And then I just didn't have anything going for myself at all. And it's amazing.
I know you're suffering constant pain, constant stabbing, pulsating pain. I can see it with my eyes. And tell me, madam, if you saw a lean, hungry tiger next to only walking into the room and eyeing you hungrily and licking its chops, how much pain would you feel? I wouldn't feel any under those circumstances. Oh my goodness, I don't feel any pain now.